I got home from school one day. I decided to play a game on my computer. During intermission in the game, I would talk in a group chat with a couple of my friends. We were telling jokes and making each other laugh until I needed to use the restroom. I told them I would be right back and left my phone on the desk and didn't turn it off. When I returned, I noticed that some of the letters were being pressed even though no one was in the room with me. It wasn't a word that was typed, but random letters with the yod symbol spacing them out. To me, it didn't mean anything, so I asked my friends if they thought it meant something, but they were startled by it and didn't know what it meant either. I thought it was strange, but decided to ignore it. Later that night, when I decided to go to bed, I turned off my lamp and got under the sheets. My cat Portia was by me sound asleep. A few moments later, I heard what sounded like footsteps slowly creepy through the hallway to my bedroom. Suddenly, they stopped right outside my doorway. I glanced up and expected to see my brother, but no one was in sight. From her dead sleep, Portia bolted up, stood at the end of my bed and stared into the hallway. I was confused since she had never done that before. I tried to get her back to her normal spot on my bed, but she wouldn't budge. I even put my hand in front of her face, but she kept trying to peer over it. She eventually sat back down and went to bed. Since then, I haven't had any other experiences like that, and I still wonder if there was something trying to contact me that night.
There was a really weird occurrence at my dad's house a few years ago. He awoke to the sound of dogs barking and realized the neighborhood. Dogs were barking at something that was moving parallel to the road. When his own started to bark, he went outside to see what was up. Across the street is pretty much all forest, except a church directly across the street that at the time was just a gravel lot. My dad was too far away to see anything, but in the dead of night, he could definitely hear the sound of someone running at full tilt across the gravel. A few things freaked him out from this. One, whatever it was, definitely ran on 2 feet. Try having a dog run on gravel versus a human, and you can tell the difference. And it was big. Both myself and he have witnessed large animals like bears and moose running through the underbrush. And according to him, it sounded like it was of a similar size to those creatures. 2, it was easily running somewhere around 40 to 50 miles per hour. In the clearing of the lot, then slowed down again as it went back into the woods. He was able to compare the speed because the road itself is 45 miles per hour limit, so it was going just as fast as a passing car. 3, the final thing. His suffering and gasping was so loud he could hear it from his front door and was obviously not human. We looked online later to compare its sound to other animals, and it really didn't sound like anything he'd ever heard before. The freakiest part was the almost synchronous reactions the dogs had. He's never heard dogs react like that before. Both him, my stepmom, my stepbrother, and several of our neighbors all can account for hearing the strange barking from the dogs, but it was only my dad who heard what they were after. Nothing happened like that since, and I've never personally witnessed anything like it. We do like right on the border of the Cascade Mountain Range and are surrounded by park and federal land. If you want to get an idea of where this took place,
A couple of years ago, my wife and I chartered a boat out of Key West to do some snorkeling and sandbarring, whatever. So we were 6 miles west of Key West in about 3 feet of water shilling and picking up sand dollars. It's just me and my wife in the water and the boat captain for miles as far as we can see. Maybe 50 yards off to one side of us, I notice a hard shadow moving slowly through the water. I watch it for maybe 30 to 45 seconds and it stops moving. I keep looking and a head pops up and is looking at me. It's far enough away that I can make out details, but it's a blue and orange humanoid head. We stare at each other for what feels like a minute, but is probably 5 to 10 seconds. The head drops back underwater and the shadow takes off underwater at unimaginable speed. Neither my wife or the captain saw it, or if they did, they didn't mention it. I didn't say anything to them about it. I never felt threatened. My distinct memory when face to face with whatever it was is actually thinking nobody is ever going to believe this.
I slept over at my grandparents' house one night, and when I woke up in the morning and looked out the door, I saw a woman with long red hair wearing a white nightgown walking by. Oh, it must be my grandma, I thought. I wasn't wearing my glasses, and so I shut my eyes and pretended I was still asleep. Then it hit me with a jolt that my grandma had been wearing a pair of red flannel pajama pants and a red long-sleeved shirt. Her hair is red, but it's short. I remember watching through my eyelashes as the figure looked at me and then turned, continuing down the hallway. I jumped out of bed and ran all the way to my grandma, who was still wearing the same red flannels. There was no one else in the house but my grandpa, who was still fast asleep. pretty spooky.
My freshman year of college, I stayed on the top floor of my residence hall. Everything was normal until about mid-November, when my roommate and I would hear what sounded like someone messing with our doorknob and lock. But when we looked out the peephole, no one was there. It was weird, but we brushed it off. But one night, while I was in my dorm room alone, of course, I was studying for finals when the lights flickered, I heard a loud bang down the hall and my roommate's TV turned on by itself. Turns out a girl who lived in the dorm many years ago jumped from the top floor. And the legend goes that every year around the anniversary of her suicide, she goes around and messes with the residents. Sounds silly, but it was crazy.
A couple years ago, our TV started behaving really weirdly. It started with just pausing, fast-forwarding and rewinding what we were watching, flicking through channels or changing the volume by itself. Then it gradually stepped up to putting horror movies on, and entering the pin normally required for films rated above PG by itself. We changed the pin, and then we would see the pin being typed incorrectly 3 times. Then it started flashing random pictures on the screen. One it did a lot was Cat's Eyes, don't remember the rest. Have no idea how it got access to the pictures either. I doubt these random pictures would be stored anywhere in the TV. We called out the TV company multiple times, and they thought we were crazy until they came out and saw it for themselves. No one could figure out what it was. They kept recording what it was doing and sending it around, and nobody knew what was causing it or how to fix it. In the end, we had to get a new box. Not had anything like that happen since, and still have no clue what caused it, but it was terrifying at the time.